Happy new comic book day, everybody. It's your boy GemMint, and I'm at Collectors Emporium in Noblesville, Indiana, my LCS. And I think I'm gonna pick up a little bit more than just my weekly books this week. Let's check it out. So Collectors Emporium is a comic and record shop. So here goes all the records. Got some goodies on the desk. They have cards as well. And then we got the comics in the back. All right, I was taking a look at some of these keys. We got some great stuff here. Some Silver Age Batman, some Bronze Age Spidey. And then we got some slabs. I don't know, guys, what do you think we should pick up? All right, Dylan, I see you guys have this Incredible Hulk 181. It's in a 3.0.
Yep, we do.
We got it listed at 1950. I don't have 1950. I saw some comps, some sold listings at around like 1550.
Yep. So I mean, there was there was an older sale at 1950. Saw some recent sales at 1550. So GemMint and I, we talked it back and forth. We figured 1550 was a good deal. We actually graded that book ourselves, so that's it's a pretty new grade on that as well.
All right, so 1550?
Yep, we'll get it done.
Let's do it.
Yo, that's right, guys. We did it. I picked up the Hulk 181 in a 3.0, but I actually didn't buy this for me. This is going to be a giveaway, and this is going to be the first place that I announce it. I'm doing this giveaway through Courtyard, but instead of going in there and breaking a box, I'm going to mail this to Courtyard. I'm going to have them scan it and upload it, put it on their digital marketplace, and then we're going to do the giveaway the same as we did the first one. I need you guys to download the app using the link in the description or in the pinned comment and comment your Courtyard username in the comments below. What I'm going to do is I'm going to gather some names from this video and probably like an Instagram reel, and then I'm going to do a random drawing and we're going to pull a winner live, and then I'm going to have this book transferred directly from my digital account to yours. And then at that point you could either have it mailed to you and you could be the owner of a Hulk 181, or Courtyard will buy it back for 90% of the fair market value. While you're there, if you do want to break any of these comic book boxes, use code GemMint15. It'll save you 15%. So basically that $200 box now just costs you $170. But I'm going to have a couple of opportunities to enter this giveaway. This is the first one. Download it, comment your Courtyard name in the comments below. I'm excited, man. We're giving away a Hulk 181. All right, guys, with that being said, Off the Rack is officially dead. Apparently, other channels have used that name before. I mean, it's a pretty common name. I think Comic Pop has been using that series for quite a few years now. And as soon as somebody said that, I was kind of like, oh yeah, that does kind of sound familiar. But did they use an actual spinner rack? Anyway, I'm not going to use the name Off the Rack anymore, but I'm still doing the weekly comic book day reviews, and I'm going to try to drop the reviews as spoiler-free as possible. I read most of my stuff digitally, so let's go over the physical copies first, and I'll tell you what I thought about them. I always channel Rock and Robbie with this stuff. Before we do, if you dig the videos though, hit the like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you don't miss any, and let's talk about Absolute Batman issue 11. Another amazing issue from this series. The entire Absolute series has been wonderful. Scott Snyder, along with Man. Who's Man? Clayman. Shout out to Clayman. So this issue, it kind of starts off like a traditional Bane origin story. We get the whole grew up in the prison thing. They add a little bit more depth to it with his whole father leading the rebellion. And I'm reading this and I'm thinking, okay, this is kind of like a typical origin story for Bane. And then it goes absolutely crazy. And what happens in this issue is going to have ramifications for the remainder of the series. I mean, Bruce Wayne, Batman, is forever changed after this issue. The art is incredible. The Bane stuff in itself was great, but they go so crazy with this. Here, let's just show some artwork, not giving any spoilers or anything. They go so crazy with what happens in this issue. I can't wait to read the next one. I really can't say the same for Absolute Flash now. This is issue 4 and is by Jeff Lemire, or written by, I should say. And the art is by Nick Robles. This feels like the least Jeff Lemire thing that I think I've ever read. It goes 6 months into the past. We're kind of learning more of what Wally West's father was doing back at the lab, creating these weapons, and we're being introduced into the people that are transformed into weapons, kind of like how Wally West was. So it was just okay. Really not much happened here. The art is just all right. I don't like it as much as I do Absolute Batman, but I do like Absolute Flash and the whole Absolute universe. So we're going to stick it out. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is back with a new #1, TMNT Journeys. This is by Peter Laird with Jim Lawson. And they have variant covers by Kevin Eastman. This issue is dedicated to Kevin Eastman. This reads like a Mirage era black and white TMNT comic book, and I love it. Starts off with this character on the moon. They're visiting the moon landing site, but then they're also building some contraption there. And then you have the Turtles in New York City 15 years later from the original run, fighting bad guys in the snow. There's a new gang in town, the Manhattan something, and it's cool, man. It really feels like you're back in that Mirage era, which I recently just read, and I love this cover. Doesn't this remind you of like that NES artwork on the cover? The same one from like, what, issue 3 or 4, fourth printing? TMNT issue 1 was great. Let's jump into ASM issue number 10. Man, some crazy stuff going on in the world of Spider-Man. First of all, this is a crazy cover. It's like you can't even, it looks like a panel. So this is by Joe Kelly and Michael Dowling, the artist on this one, as a guest artist. Now, remind me when we get to Black Cat and Spider-Gwen on how all that ties in, but this is, you know, the flagship, the main title here. Spider-Man, he's got the impact webbing, or does he? We know that after he got his ass whooped by Hellgate, he kind of pulled a Hulk in Infinity War, and he don't want to be Spider-Man anymore. But somebody is being Spider-Man and kind of like Batmaning all the criminals, like breaking their legs because they're buying an eighth. Anyway, I like how this crosses over to those other titles. We'll talk about those when we get there. But this is almost like in the animated series when Peter gets the symbiote and he's like, shocker! We got this rogue Spider-Man. Who is he? We don't know. But things are heating up in the world of Amazing Spider-Man. Okay, I'm all over the place. This stuff might not be out until next week, but Void Rivals issue 22 by your boy Robert Kirkman, along with Connor Hughes and Patricio Depeche Mode over here. So this feels a lot like what's going on in Transformers. We're gearing up towards the end of this arc with issue 24, and it's a big all-out war. You've got Stringer and Hot Rod representing the Transformers, but the two factions, the two different civilizations, they're about to unify, and we know from previous issues that everything's going to fall apart if they unify. But yeah, I'm digging Void Rivals. I'm a fan of the series. I don't know what's going to happen when Kirkman goes to Transformers. I'm excited for that oversized 25th issue. But yeah, is he going to continue this? How many titles is this guy writing? Then we got The Invisible Man issue 1 from the Universal Monsters line. This is by James Tynion IV, along with Danny, Brad, and Simpson. Or is that all one name? Am I butchering this? No, Danny and Brad Simpson. So funny enough, the only other title that I read from the Universal Monsters stuff was the first series, the Dracula stuff, which was written by Tynion. Now he's doing The Invisible Man. I love it. It's giving us the origin story. This guy's experimenting on rats. He's using mono something. Monocaine to transform this rat into invisible, but it's also making the rat smarter. He's starting to outsmart the other rats and all the mazes and all that stuff that they're doing in there. And it was dope, man. I really like this issue. They've been just these 4-issue minis, so definitely going to stick along with this. And I might need to read Frankenstein and Creature from the Black Lagoon. They put out hardcovers for these too when they're done, so we might have to check that out. All right, y'all. On to the digital stuff. We're going to be a little bit all over the place, you guys. Some of this stuff I think is not out yet, so you're going to get like a preview, and I'm going to, again, try to keep it spoiler-free. Come on, iPad. All right, let's see. What are we going to do first? All new Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider. I almost didn't read this. I'm like, I don't think this is for me. Like, this was cool when it first came out with Edge of the Spider-Verse, but I'm so Spider-Gwen'd out. Phillips, Villanelli, and Milla. Bro, this was such a good issue. I really dug this. Gwen Stacy, well, this version is now in the 616. She's putting her life back together, and everything is kind of falling into place except for her band. So she's trying to get the Mary Janes together. It actually starts off with this murder, and they do a good job of like swinging back around at the end of the issue, and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So it has some good artwork. It felt wholesome. It felt like a good Spider-Gwen. But it felt like a good Spider-Man story. I really dug this issue, and I was kind of surprised. I almost didn't read it, and I'm kind of glad that I did. So that's Spider-Gwen issue 1's out this week. All right, then we have Maria Lovett's Artificial issue #1. I didn't like this one. This kind of felt like I wasn't the target demo for this book. It's about this, well, it's about a woman that uses this dating site, but this dating site or this app sends, what do you want to call it? Androids. It's kind of like Rent a Date kind of a thing. So she gets the free trial. She goes on the date with this thing. It's kind of sexual. It feels kind of like a girly comic, if I'm being honest. I don't think I'm going to continue reading this, but I did check it out. It was all right. It just really wasn't for me. But yeah, that's like the premise of it. And, you know, what happens when she inputs the safe word, but the safe word is wrong. You kind of get the idea that next time she is on one of these dates, she's not going to be able to use the safe word. All right, then Black Cat #1. This is kind of the same as with the Spider-Gwen stuff. Like I was like, a new Black Cat #1. I guess I'll give it a try. But I really dug this because it took place in the same storyline that Amazing Spider-Man's taking place, because she's been showing up in that run as well. This is by G. Willow Wilson with Glenn Melenkov, Brian Reber, and VC's Joe Cara Magna. So the Black Cat, she's visiting the night nurse. She gets busted up. First of all, they give you some gratuitous Black Cat in a hot tub here too, so that might interest you guys. But basically with Spider-Man not being Spider-Man, she's like, wait a minute, this is kind of a good thing. I can go on crime sprees and I don't got to worry about Spider-Man. But the problem is you got this other Spider-Man going around breaking legs and breaking necks for stealing the newspaper. So it's causing a little bit of a problem. There's some kind of funny stuff here. All the villains and all the rogues gallery that's visiting the night nurse and all that stuff. So you got Lizard here, and then there's a bunch of other of the rogues. And then here's her meeting Spider-Man and quickly, well, she probably knows it's not Spider-Man based on the interaction. Anyway, I thought it was cool how it went along with what's going on in Amazing Spider-Man, continuing that here, giving me heavy Ben Reilly vibes, actually. It probably is Kane or Ben Reilly or somebody like that. All right, we're bouncing all around. We're back to Image. Death to Pachuco. So this is like, it almost feels like Scalped, but instead of Native Americans, it's Mexican Americans. It takes place in the 40s. It's by Barajas, Merrill, Luridge, and Dennis. And what was this about again? Death to Pachuco. So it's a murder mystery. And I like the beginning. It's like, yo, we're using slang from the 40s. It's probably going to be offensive. Don't be offended. If you are, this book's not for you. So I was already hooked with that. Hitting us with a lot of slang, chuco, and all that kind of stuff. So 1940s Mexican murder mystery. But, you know, it didn't really hook me. I didn't really love it. Like, I don't really care who killed this person and this, that, and the third. So I don't know. Death of Pachuco 1 might be the death of my time with it as well. Anyway, Department of Truth is here with an issue 0. So I don't remember where I left off on Department of Truth. I'm definitely not current, but I figured with a 0 issue, we'll just jump in and see what's happening. So Tiny and with Simmons again, but you got a couple of other creators on here. You have, okay, because there's what? 2 parts? You got Scott Snyder with Joshua Hickson as well. So what's going on here? So the whole premise of Department of Truth is that reality is based off what people believe. So the more people believe in something, the more that it actually manifests itself and becomes real. So in this issue, you have this rumor of children being held hostage in this, what is this, an ice cream shop or something? It's not real. It's just a made up manifestation. Great artwork in here as well. A lot of times the art is very obscure in Department of Truth. But anyway, Agent Cole, the main guy from the main series, I don't know exactly what happened, but apparently he's gone rogue and they're recruiting somebody new to the Department of Truth and they're giving him the whole rundown, you know, and that kind of thing. So it was kind of cool. I don't know. Does that mean I can just pick up reading Department of Truth with issue, what are they, in the 40s now? Maybe you guys could let me know in the comments. I did dig the issue 0, though. All right, then we got another new #1 from Rick Remender. This is Escape, and he's joined by Daniel Acuna. So this was a weird book, man. So if you take a look at the cover, this is like an anthropomorphic. It's like animal humans, but it's super heavy. It's like a war comic book about these guys or these creatures, these people, whatever, that bomb a city. And they kind of do so without getting the okay. This is a war. They decide to drop the bombs and they get shot down. And now they're crash landing in enemy territory. And that's basically the whole gist of Escape. But it hits very like They're animal-like characters, but it hits like with a very serious tone. There's killing, there's death. You actually feel like sorry for these people that die on both sides. The army or whoever that we're following, and then the civilians in the city down below. Pretty heavy stuff. I dug it. I'll probably read issue 2 when it drops. All right, guys. This right here is my pick of the week. Damn, I don't know if I have a week, like the worst book of the week, but I think pick of the week is Everything is Dead and Dying, issue number 1. The only thing I can see is it's by Bromble, Phillips, Martin, and Bidikar. Bro, this is my pick of the week. This feels like it might be like the next Walking Dead. This is low-key kind of like The Walking Dead meets Y the Last Man. So it starts off, it introduces us to this guy. We find out that he grew up as a gay man. His father disowned him. He never really fit in. He ends up finding somebody that he loves, and then they get married. They adopt a child. And I'm reading this, and I'm like going back to the cover. I'm like, what is this even about again? I'm like, oh, this guy's milking a zombie cow. And like right after I go back to the story, after like rechecking what the hell I'm even reading, it hits you like a punch in the stomach, man. Like you see, okay, this is what this comic book is about, and it's kind of crazy. So to give you the gist of it without trying to get into spoiler territory, basically everybody, or so it seems, has succumbed to this disease, which pretty much turns them into zombies. And for whatever reason, our main character is immune to this. So he's the only one that's not changing. And he's been bitten, he's been scratched, nothing changes him. So now he's kind of like in this Groundhog Day scenario where every day is the same. But as he wakes up and kind of like gets his adoptive daughter and his zombified husband into a routine, he can kind of see their humanity kind of lurking behind their eyes a little bit. And even like the mailman or the milkman comes by, and it's like he treats them like regular people, and that's kind of how he sees them. But everybody's zombified. I don't want to say what happens at the end of this issue, but this might be a big book, man. Keep an eye out for Everything Dead and Dying. Pick of the week for me. All right, let's keep it moving. We are back to some Tiny in action with Exquisite Corpses, issue number 4, but he's joined by someone else here. So it's written by Chi Grayson with Tiny in, art by Adam Gorham with Michael Walsh, Jordi Belair on the colors, Becca Carey on the letters. So Exquisite Corpses, issue 4, we're kind of just in the game. We're seeing different killers from the different families and trying to get to their drop boxes, their tools. I need my tools. and we have somebody on the inside that seems to be working against the families, but they're not really, I don't know, are they part of the game? We don't know who they are yet, but they're kind of sabotaging and finding these boxes, these caches before the killers do. So it's pretty interesting stuff. Otherwise, I felt like not really much happened to progress the story forward here as much. But I'm digging Exquisite Corpses. Definitely a great read. Jumping over to some more Marvel, we've got Godzilla vs. the Marvel Universe, issue number 2. The cover is kind of a spoiler, but what happens when everyone in the Marvel Universe is fighting Godzilla and Venom gets a little bit too close and the symbiote wants to join Godzilla? Kind of like a little bit of a gist of it, but it's a pretty cool, like, Armageddon type of idea. Human Torch trying to take down Godzilla, then Godzilla blasts the torch with his flame. Jerry Dugan, Javier Guerin, Paco Medina, and Juan Cabal. I did like this one though. It's just fun. It's kind of like Marvel Zombies but with Godzilla, if that makes sense. Cool stuff with Ant-Man. Didn't they shrink Godzilla in the original Godzilla Marvel comics and then he was like regular sized? That seemed like that was a nod to that. All right, guys, Imperial by Jonathan Hickman, Federico Vicentini, Iban Coelho, and another Federico Blee. You got 2 Federicos. I got to be honest. I'm not excited to read Imperial when it comes out, and I don't find myself loving it when I'm done reading it. It feels like Annihilation, but it's like the next big cosmic battle. What we do find out in this issue, though, is who is behind the assassination of these 5 galactic leaders. Who's the one playing on the chessboard and moving all the pieces? So the end of this issue, actually, let me take that back. After I read this issue, I was kind of like, oh, shit, I kind of can see why Jonathan Hickman wanted to play in this sandbox. The ending was great. It was cool to get a reveal on who's behind all this, and that's kind of what happened in this issue. I don't know. I still don't really love Imperial. All right, keeping it moving. We only got a couple left. Bro, runner-up pick of the week. I almost didn't even read this either because, like, I'm not a big, like, Marvel 2-in-1 fan. I didn't grow up reading those comics. The Thing, I mean, I like Fantastic Four. I like The Thing. But I don't love it enough to... Anyway, Marvel All on One. The Thing versus the Marvel Universe. So this was written by North. You got Ed McGuinness on the art, Farmer and Menyes. The thing about this book is the art is incredible. It actually didn't do it justice reading it on the tablet because every page is either a double page spread or just one full-on page of art. So here's like the double page spread, the thing. The art, though, is incredible. Every single page is one big page full of big, bold Ed McGuinness lines, and I really dug it. So the story here is like, for some reason, the Fantastic Four are trying to kill Ben Grimm, and then the Avengers come and they're trying to kill him too. Turns out that they're robots, and we find out who's behind it and why. But it's a nice, heartfelt Thing issue. Like, I really dug this issue. I love the writing. I love how the Thing was portrayed. The artwork was incredible. Runner-up pick of the week, and a sleeper that I didn't even expect. I guess the pick of the week for me, like the weakest book of the week, has got to be this Artificial Love. Nothing against the creator or anything. It just wasn't my bag. And it was actually a really good week for comics. It's hard to pick a weakest one. New Avengers is here with issue number 3, and this is by Humphreys, Lima, and Barreto. So this was cool as well because, as you can see on the cover, we got Carnage, and we all know Eddie Brock is currently Carnage. So this crosses over with the Eddie Brock Carnage title. You have these new Avengers. They're basically trying to recruit more members for the team to take down this clone Illuminati. So you have the Hulk here. They talk to Bruce Banner. They try to get the Hulk going and end up, I don't know, he's on the cover. Carnage ends up joining the New Avengers. So now you got all these killers. It's kind of like the Thunderbolts, New Avengers, which aren't they're the same thing now anyway. It's basically Suicide Squad becoming the Justice League. It's the Thunderbolts becoming the New Avengers, and you got X-23, you got Winter Soldier, you got Black Widow, now you got Carnage. Pretty dope stuff. They're trying to hunt down and take down clone Reed Richards, which is basically like the Maker, evil Reed Richards. So pretty cool stuff. I dug it. And where are we at here? The last one. Oh, okay. Venom, Black, White, and Blood, issue number 1, which apparently this is not a one-shot. It looks like they're going to be continuing this with other artists. David Michelini on the first story, along with Jonas Scarf. Ryan North with Cress Lee on the second story. And JMD Mateus with Dave Watcher on the third one. So the David Michelini one feels like Todd McFarlane, David Michelini era Venom. Like, even the artists understood the assignment here because all of the depictions of Venom feel like that original Venom, which is always my favorite. Him using camouflage. When's the last time you seen Eddie Brock or Venom use camouflage? So it's Black, White, and Red, or in Blood. So, you know, those are the 3 colors that are used here. Here's another shot of how they do Venom. Great story for the first one. And they read so quick because it's 3 stories in a regular sized issue comic book. Check out this one too. This also gives me old school vibes. This Eddie Brock. This looks exactly like, I got to send this to LBS. This looks just like the LBS statue almost, right? Anyway, the second story, what was going on in this one? A kid almost gets killed, so Venom lets him use the symbiote to hunt down his killer. That was pretty cool. Oh, it was a Carnage story, yeah, with JMD Mateus. I think this was supposed to be like a Maximum Carnage follow-up type of thing, which is my jam, as everybody knows. Some cool stuff with the symbiote and Eddie. And that's it for this week, man. Like I said, banger week for comics. It was hard to pick the weakest one. It was kind of hard to pick the best one. Bro, we're giving away a Hulk 181. Crazy week for comic books. Do me a favor. Let me know what you thought was the best this week. What did you pick up? Make sure to download Courtyard. Comment your Courtyard username in the comments down below. Use the link in the description. Use the link in the pinned comment. And I will give you guys other opportunities to get your name onto the list more than once. So no need to comment more than once here. But definitely comment down, and then keep an eye on my other socials, Facebook, Instagram. I'll probably do like unique opportunities on each platform to join. But that's it, man. Hell of a week. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that like and stay minty fresh. Peace.